Good afternoon to you all. First, it's I would say a privilege and a pleasure to be talking to students of AI. Okay, uh, so I belong to a generation that lived a life before the internet, before mobile phones, before Google. Okay, can you imagine that life? In fact, a life before television. So when we were small, there was radio. You know, I still remember seeing the first time a black and white TV came into our home. So we've seen life from an analog existence to a digital existence, and AI is the next level. It's taking the digital revolution to the next level. However, we have to understand that though we call it artificial intelligence, there is still nothing on the planet that can replace human intelligence. Okay, there are things that we do, there are things that information that we can process that no machine can process. However, the digital technology and AI does things faster, does things that we can't do in terms of scope, all right? But you have to ask the right questions, all right? If you ask the wrong question, you get the wrong answer, okay? So you can put together a whole lot of information. Like if I had to compare it to cooking, you can get the best ingredients and you can have the best kitchen on the planet, but at the end, it's still the chef. It's that little touch of the chef that decides whether that meal is going to be great or not. Now, AI could get you the right tools. It could tell you where to get the best apples from, the best tomatoes from. It could tell you where to get the best spices from. But the putting it together requires that human question. And I think it's the blend that will finally result in taking AI to the next level of human evolution. Now here, I want to share our experience. So we primarily work with neurological disorders in children. We work with autism. And we found some of our children with autism can do things that even AI can't do. All right. When we do their PET CT scans, we see parts of their brain that are working less, but we are seeing parts of their brain that are working more. They are able to do, we actually had a child who can read your mind for numbers. You think of a number, she'll tell you what you thought, right? A child who we've treated here. We have these kids who have, this AI can do, but you tell them any day of the future and they will tell you what date it is. Now this is easy. This is something that even without AI can be done. But here's a human brain in a child that's doing it. A 4-year-old child doing that. Right. Now, at our institute, and this is where I want to collaborate with you, we have information on children with autism that nobody on the planet has. For example, we do special scans for these kids called PET CT scans, which show you which parts of the brain are working less, which are working normal, and which are working more. Nobody's doing PET scans. So we are the ones, we've got 5,000. A data of 5,000 autism PET scans, another 24,000 cerebral palsy. Then we've got MRI scans, which actually show you, for example, we discovered here, when we looked at the MRI, our brain has got two sides, a right and a left. And there's a bridge that connects the two called corpus callosum. And we discovered that the corpus callosum in our kids is smaller. Nobody in the world had seen that. Okay, we published this as a scientific paper for the first time, showing the world, hey, listen, these kids, their right and left brain, the bridge between it is smaller, which means that the connections are less, which means that the two brains aren't able to talk to each other like our brains can talk. We've done some amazing work with biochemistry. We are finding that, for example, their vitamin D levels are lower. We are finding a particular vitamin called folic acid is actually increased. We are finding a lot of these kids have a genetic problem which can't convert inactive folic acid to active folate. We've looked at their guts and looked at, what are the infections. Our therapists have got amazing clinical data on what they can do, what they can't do. And we are the only hospital on the planet, not just India, that has all this data together. This, using AI, because we have to connect the dots. AI can't get that information. We have it. But AI can connect the dots. That's what it's brilliant at, all right? It's brilliant at connecting what's there. So we've got brain scans. We've got clinical evaluation by our therapists which show what they can't do, what they can do, the scales. We've got biochemistry, in-depth biochemistry. In fact, now we've extended our research. We are now looking at, various hormones. We are looking at neurotransmitters because when we do a cell therapy procedure, we do what's called a lumbar puncture and take out something called CSF. That is the fluid in the brain. And now we are looking at neurotransmitters in that, all right? So we've got some seriously amazing scientific information. This could tell us, okay, why our kids are developing autism, and it could tell us what the solution to it is next. Now, here, I think we can work together, okay? Connect the dots. That's what AI does brilliantly. Doesn't what it do? You ask a question, it'll scan everything and give you information. Now we have information sitting here, and I also, I've always believed that it is best that we do fundamental research with students whose brains aren't programmed. In my travels all over the world, I've found some of the most brilliant ideas actually come from people your age. Because as you grow older, you get programmed. You get, program means, I've always believed, I've been a professor my whole life, was professor at the Sion Hospital Medical College. And I've always believed that formal education sometimes tells you more what not to do than what to do. Instills fear. And so some of the great people who've done some of the greatest disruptive technologies for us, like say Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was not an engineer. In fact, he didn't even graduate. Steve Jobs, the Apple guy, okay? He didn't graduate from college. But he created a masterpiece. He disrupted 4 worlds. First, the world of computers through Apple computers. Then the world of mobile phones. Then through Pixel, he converted, I don't know if you know it, but this whole animation was his creation through a company called Pixel. And the world of music when he got the iPads. A non-engineer did that because he wasn't programmed. No engineer could do it because engineers are already programmed. You're straight-jacketed. You're told what is, this is the way to, you need somebody clean. And before you guys get programmed, I think you'll be able to, put it together. So I'm very happy to collaborate. I want to, whether it was your initiative or ours, I don't know, but it's great to be here. Okay. So what I'd love to do with all of you, and I don't know how we can take this as a project, is let's look at the science we already have. We've got raw data. We've got authentic data. All right. And if we look at all the data and connect, we may just get a solution to a problem that is huge. Just let me tell you, the data from the US CDC, the CDC Center for Disease Control. You've heard of the CDC? And, it's one of the biggest things in America. If you go to the website, it shows that last year, 1 in 36 children had autism. The year before, it was something like 1 in 44 something. Before that, it was 1 in 50. Before that, it was 1 in 60. 20 years ago, it was 1 in 160. So if you see, every year, the incidence is increasing by 10. This is not my figure. This is the US CDC. It says, 2004, it was 1 in 60. In 2005, it became 1 in 150, then 1 in 120. And in 20 years, it has now become 1 in 36. If this goes on, the next year it will be somewhere 1 in 20, then 1 in 10, then 1 in 5, and then what? We are going to have every alternate child being born with autism. This is not mine, this is US CDC figures. It shows a 20-year graphic like this. And if we don't do something about it, this is going to go on. Then autism is going to be the new normal. All right. Now it's time we looked into it. We've got the data. If anybody on planet Earth can find a solution. It's we with our data, pure raw data, and that's what AI is good at. It takes data and collates it. So we need your help. Humanity needs your help because we have to find a solution to this before it goes out of hand. What will this data tell us? It'll give us early signs. Maybe as soon as children are born in the future, we can, if we know what is there, we can evaluate them, we can do their blood levels. Maybe we can predict who's going to have autism. Maybe we can start treating them before they develop full-fledged autism. There is so much we have to do. Now, there are some positive traits in these kids. There are parts of their brain which are working more. And that's the classic, in fact, there's a peculiar part. It's called the visuospatial area, the area that has vision, occipit lobe. That, if you see the PET scans, is yellow in all these kids. That means they can see beyond what we can see. It's the classic Shiva's third eye. We talk of Shiva's third eye. Our kids with autism all have that. They're able to do things that we can't even do. They're able to see things that we can't see. And this, many people say, is the next form of human evolution. So these children can't talk. You must have been told that. But they are masters in non-verbal communication. They know what you are feeling or thinking without your speaking it. And maybe 100 years from now, maybe human beings will communicate without talking. It may sound science fiction now, but our kids with autism are showing us that the next level of human evolution will be non-verbal communication. But we have to be able to identify what the causation, and then this will give us data that we can tell the world and say, okay, early detection, early intervention, so that they don't develop the limitations and weaknesses. Are you understanding? So it's not often that one gets to work on a problem that concerns humanity as a whole. It may seem you're in Navi Mumbai, but have you been around? There are patients from all over the world here. Have you seen that? Yes. There are people from all the continents on the planet coming right here. All right. We must be doing something right that people from all over the world are coming to India. There must be something here, So, yes, we are helping the children, but now I believe it's our duty to go beyond helping children, to identifying the causation, the pathophysiology, going to early detection and to prevention. The planet cannot handle if already it's 1 out of 36. In 2-3 years' time, we 1 out of 10, then 1 out of 5. Then what? We do not have enough rehabilitation centers. We do not have enough therapists. We don't have enough treatment centers. We aren't ready for what's going to come. And our data will help prevent it. You don't wait for a storm to come. You try to see what you can do to either prevent it or protect yourself when it comes. So your work will be increasingly important. When I say your work, I mean AI. Okay, because it's only AI that can connect all the dots with all this information. Also, whenever you work, see when we work in our life, we have 3 things. There are things that we have. That's the content of your life. Like you have clothes, you have a mobile, you have a home. There are things that we have. That is what? The content. Okay, that's what you have. Then there are processes, things that we do. Okay, you work, you play, you eat, things that we do. You agree? The things that we have, there are things that we do. There's another domain. So there's a domain of content, what we have, domain of processes, what we do, and there's another domain, the domain of context. Context is what we be. Okay, so there are times when most people think, when you have something, then you will do something and then you will be. When I have so much money, when I have success, I will do things people do and then I'll be happy. No, it's the reverse. You have to first be, then you naturally have, and then you naturally do. So whatever work you do in life, have a context. Okay, there has to be a purpose. It's got to be something that makes you excited about waking up every morning. It's got to be something when you sleep at night that that your mind is going on about what next, what tomorrow. All right, that makes a fulfilling life. You all will have successes, you will do well in your exams, you'll get jobs, you'll make money, you'll have good mobile phones, you'll all marry, have kids, you're going to have all of that. But do you want your life to be just about that? Do you want to make a difference? Do you want to feel alive? Do you want to feel that your life matters? Right? And if that is so, then you're in the right place right now. But you just have to find purpose. And once you find purpose, that's the context. Now everything you do and everything you have follows naturally. There is no more, there is no less. There is the simple joy of being alive, you know. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? I mean, there is no end to how much money you can make. There is no end to what you can. You know, we think we'll be happy when we have, but you're never happy when you have, because let's say you don't have a car and you think, when I have a small car, I'll be happy. But the problem is, when you get a small car, that time you want a bigger car. And then when you have the Honda, you want a Mercedes. And when you want to have Mercedes, you want a Rolls. There is no end to happiness in having. You must have, of course, we need to have. There's also no limit to happiness in what we do, because we always want to keep doing more. But being is contextually fulfilling. All right. Are you with me, guys? Do you understand? I'm trying to put context into your life so that it's simple. You need to wake up every day out of the joy of just being alive, out of having a purpose, a mission in your life, about something that matters, that your life matters, okay? That what you do impacts the lives of people you'll never meet, maybe. Let's say we work together on AI and we can figure out some solution to early detection. You know, kids who are going to be born all over the world later, who would have become autistic, will not become autistic because of the work you've done. You don't even know who these people are, okay? But you know that your work made a difference. That's the real way to live, right? So, I mean, that's just general. I could go on talking about this subject. Apart from autism, the other side, the human brain is again very fascinating because the human brain is basically AI in its own. It's doing AI all the time. And a lot of the AI is happening actually at a time when you most don't know it. That's during sleep. So there's a fascinating science on sleep, on what happens when you sleep, and how there is exchange of data that happens, how there are different phases, how dreams, actually the time when you're dreaming, how what has happened in the day before, it's correlated to the rest of your life. So the principle of AI is already incorporated in all of us, right? The question is, are we going to use that constructively? Are we going to use it to make a difference? Are we just going to let it be? Right? We all have the potential. Do you know how many neurons you have in your brain? 100,000 million. That is, to give you a context, if I take out your brain and take out your brain cells and put them end to end, do you understand? One after the other. The distance of your brain, how much will that distance be? Guess, take a blind guess. Blind guess. Okay, I'll tell you. 3 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. 3 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. One brain. That's the amount of hardware you have. Okay. So, my point of this discussion, I want to just summarize and end on this, is have purpose in your life. Okay. Live life, and one of the ways I live my life, and that's a useful way to live, is I live my life one day at a time. Just one day. When I wake up in the morning, I actually stand in my balcony, I will say, today is 6th of February 2025, and this day will never come again in my life. Will the 6th of February 2025 come in your life again? No. So I'm going to make today special. I just tell myself that. I say it loudly. I stretch my arm and I say it loudly. Because today will never come again. And then I don't look at what happened yesterday. Whatever happened before this is dead. Can you put life into a dead body? So you can't put life into what's already happened. You can learn from it, but you can't live it. So, and the future is unborn. Can you do anything about a child that's not born? What if you started worrying about a baby you didn't have? Which school will he go to? Which college? It doesn't make sense. It's not born yet, and we are still worrying about it. So when you live today, you learn from the past, prepare for the future, but live just in the today, right? And then when you have a purpose and mission, that life makes life a beautiful, wonderful journey. You have a whole life ahead of you, right? Make it count, make it meaningful, and make a difference to. There is no greater joy on the planet than to make a difference to people around you. All right? Thank you for your attention. If any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Such a great book. We are It's a dream come true to meet you and to.
The honor is mine.
I was not even expecting this, and like I don't know.
No, we need to work together.
For me to call you in university, but
Of course I'll come.
here,
I'm happy to come. Okay.
I would love
The future of mankind is in AI. Okay. The future of mankind. But we have to work together. We have to work with a purpose. You can use AI to make money. Okay. You could make AI to make a difference to people's lives. It depends on what is it that where you're coming from. Yeah.
So sir, that's my purpose only. So like we are these students. So we have a very small batch, and the purpose is not to fill lots of students, rather than create quality students, so that they can do something which like when you take 100 students together, you can't really train them well, right? So each student, we work with each student, single student, for therapy, for all these things. So at this early stage, they are getting this exposure.
You're blessed. You're very fortunate, and I'm happy to come down. I've been a teacher my whole life, and
definitely, I would love to. And they're learning AI. So this semester they have a workshop. They will be learning about data analysis and all these things. So soon they'll be able to help you in the project which you are telling.
And before that, I'll explain to you how the brain works. So then you have to now see, AI is nothing. Who created AI? We created, right? Software, engineers, we created this. So it's like, you give birth to a baby. Well, the babies come from you. It may not belong to you. I mean, in the sense you don't own it, but it's got its own life, but it still comes from you. So when you understand the genesis, how it happened, you can use it. All I'm saying is use technology for good. Okay. Use it to make a difference. You'll be happier. And don't ever give up on your dreams. There's Dr. Hema Biju sitting there. She was a student. You're talking about few students. I have to tell you about an example. She was, she was my student at the medical college, and her entire batch had finished the course. She joined late, so I had finished lectures for the entire batch, and then she came to me, scared that I missed out on the lecture. I took lectures separately for her. I said, if even one student is interested, I'm happy to take it. And this dream and vision of making this institute, I'd shared with her that time. Which year was that? Yeah, 2003, I'm working in a medical college, I'm in a municipal corporation job, working on a salary. I'd already envisioned all of this. We dreamt it. I remember taking a piece of paper and saying, we're going to make this happen, right? And we made it happen. Dreams do come true, guys. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to be patient, perseverant, persistent. Okay, it's taken there is my TED Talk which I did on, I'll share the link with you, just watch it. It just got released 2 weeks ago. It's on Dreaming the Impossible Dream. It's a 40-year journey from when I was your age. A dream I dreamt in 1984, how I made it real now. So the TED Talk is just that. It's about how I never gave up. So, can you share the TED Talk with them? You have it? You have the TED Talk with you? Yeah. Just watch it because it's for students. You'll find it quite inspirational. All right?
Share it with our university professors.
Sure.
Surely.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.